the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you go over the top rope and you bang your head on the ring apron. Oh, that's when you feel like a big dope. Chris and Mark, the worst bumps you can be taking. Oh yeah, it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you reach out for the hot tag, but then you go ahead and make your own comeback. And that's when you should quit wrestling. So something with the dump, there it is. And it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da. Hey! What's going on? Welcome to the hardest part of the ring. It's me, Bob, the intentionally worst wrestling podcast in history of the world. What do you say? What do you know? Tip the veal, try the waitress. We are hip to that scene, down like a clown, out of here like Vladimir, chillin' like Bob Dylan, penicillin, 364, 24/7, third time's a charm, Three's Company, burning the midnight oil, burning the something, burning the candle at both ends. There it is, punching the clock, passing the buck, working hard but hardly working, rubbing elbows, greasing palms, schmoozing, networker, trendsetters, go-getters, gypsies, tramps, and thieves, every single one of them frothing at the mouth, chomping at the bit, hooligans, cracking wise, Weisenheimers on the up and narrow, straight and narrow. Oh, I butchered this. Hey everybody, it's me, Bob. I can't do the song again. Thanks, guys. We're talking about the Hulu edition, the 315. Austin 315 didn't say anything. He had to wait today. The 315 edition of Monday Night Raw on Hulu, the not limited enough commercial interruption version of Hulu. Last year, we had a Raw on 316 Steve Austin Day, and it gave us the worst Steve Austin segment we've ever seen, where he kicked Byron Saxon in the balls, and that wasn't worth the monstrosity that took place before and after it. But with that said, all things considered, that notwithstanding, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. The 51st edition of Monday Night Raw. I hope you enjoyed the 50th anniversary. Jesus Christ. The 50th episode of WrestleMania 8. I think there's got to be, I'm liking the old stuff. It makes me look a lot more forward to, like, oh, okay, cool. Like, the thing is, the old stuff takes time to watch. But what do I want to do next? I'm thinking of the 92 Rumble, just going back from Mania 8. But now that I said it, I have to do it, huh? I don't know. The 89 Rumble would be a wacky one, because there was some weirdness in there. Okay, well, let's talk about that another time. It's still going to be old in a few weeks, don't worry about it. We open a show with Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant, and then 5 minutes later, we reference Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. I knew it would pay off. Believe in Bob. The announcers announced out of nowhere that the main event of WrestleMania is Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. That's a fine main event. I mean, I know we did it last year, and they are conveniently hoping we forgot, but who else is there for Drew? I realize Lashley's the champion, but what else could you have? Drew defending in a normal situation, babyface defending isn't going to sell as many tickets, so I understand get it off Drew so you can put it on if that's what you want to do. On the other hand, well, the announcement, it also screwed. What's the point of watching Fastlane? I don't understand. I'm going to find out this Sunday what the point of watching Fastlane is, and I don't think it's going to be good. I'd rather get dropped on the hardest part of the ring, which is the ring apron, if you didn't know. I don't think I've brought it up before. But Fastlane aside, I think Fastlane was invented so Elimination Chamber would not be the most useless pay-per-view. I always say those in-between Rumble Mania things, why are we even doing them? But that's me. I'm old. No one cares what I think. They're going to take me behind a woodshed, put a bullet in my brain as I'm frothing at the mouth. Okie dokie, Bob. Happy wrestling times. So they announced this main event. What's the finish? Let me ask you that before we jump into the show. What the hell is the finish? And what I mean is, just as we were talking about if Hogan Flair happened at Mania 8 a few days ago, not Mania 8 a few days ago. Mania 8 was 29 whatever years ago. I was talking about. You understand? Yeah. I don't need to explain these things to you. You guys, you're hip to this. You got your head on a swivel, man. I can't get anything past you guys. I can't slip one past the goalie on you, crazy cats. Now, so Lashley wins. Who the hell is his next opponent? And what does that do for Drew? After all that building up of Drew, and Drew wins. Who the hell does Drew fight the day after? The pay-per-view after, whatever you want to call it. Do a few more of him and Lashley? Okay. What do we build? I don't know. I think since there's going to be live fans here, I guess sporadically, just kind of spaced out or whatever. I think they're trying, and the safest bet would be to give Drew his live person victory, and it is deserved. And I hate going on. Well, this match and this outcome should happen because this person deserves it, and not because it's best for the show and best for the fans and everything. This is one of those. These are unprecedented times. They're not precedented. No one has precedented these times before. It didn't even happen yet. They can't precedent shit that didn't happen. So that would be the safest and happiest bet. Like when in doubt, I guess just go with a feel good. Like I always felt, from the zero wrestling companies I've run, if you have a face and a heel and it's a toss up as to who wins, the safer bet is just make the people happy. And that's why most house show matches, it's like 80% faces winning. Just what are we doing? Make them happy before they were live events and before they taped them anyway, in case and results got out and all that stuff. So yeah, I guess that's the safer bet is just put Drew over for the live people and make it. It is feeling a little flat. I don't know. They got 4 weeks. They kept saying 4 weeks, or which is really 3 shows. I don't really know. And it's confusing because it's 2 days and they're not going to tell us what matches are on what night. Uh, I really hope they put both the Universal and WWE Heavyweight, the Raw and SmackDown championships on the same show and just say, fuck, everybody else. They won't do that. I don't think so. But then it's going to become a thing now every year where, oh, did you main event the Saturday one or the Sunday one's the real main event? And it's going to become this fucking thing. They won't do this, but I'd love it if they put the SmackDown matches on one and the Raw on the other and just see what show people actually did like more. Which of the two Manias? And I know it's the same Mania, but you know what I mean. Which of the two Mania nights? I'd like to see that. They'll never do that because they don't want too much. They don't really want our feedback. Have you noticed? I'm sorry. Okay, we're 40 minutes and we are not. We are 8 minutes into this, and I haven't talked about the show. Um, Thanks for sticking with me, Mark, Chris. The announcers announced the main event. Big entrance for Lashley, big superstar entrance. They put a little extra oomph in his music and, the logos and whatever, make him a big star. I loved it. Great. He should be perceived as the biggest star. He should be Ivan Drago now. He should be Clubber Lang. He should be Apollo Creed. That's exactly who and what he should be right now. Um, he should basically be Brock Lesnar right now. MVP cuts a great promo. Lashley says a few things too. MVP's really good in this role. Nothing interesting or funny for me to say here. If he's doing awesome, he's doing awesome. And good, I got no complaints. Miz and Morrison arrive. And that's when Miz references Hogan Andre, like I mentioned before, and then Brett and Shawn, Hart and Michaels, if you don't know. That'd be just weird if he wrestled Brett and he just referenced Brett Michaels, the lead singer of Poison. And Austin Rock, of course, and he said something, and I think this was an excuse for Miz to do an okay impression of Austin. Ha ha ha, lol. I laugh in Spanish. Did I mention that? Yes, I do. Drew McIntyre arrives to summon the Thundercats, and he's very upset with everybody. And but I like that he's not backing down from the champion, and he's kind of dismissing Miz, but he's irritated, but he's going to get to him. And they resolved this issue in my eyes on this show, which is good with Miz and Drew. Lashley attacks Drew, and he's wearing a purple suit, I think. So this really jacked up Joker attacks Lion-O from the Thundercats, and then Sheamus is dressed like it's 1922 or 1933 rather, and the real Great Depression has been this show in 2021. Jokes. And Sheamus jumps Lashley, and then Miz starts kicking at Drew, and then they go to a break. But I don't know what happens during a break, but Drew McIntyre says, "Of course I'm going to wrestle the Miz," and he's very dominant over the Miz as he should be. Strange little spot, but different. So John Morrison. Let's go back to John Morrison's hair. I don't know what he's doing. It's wacky. It's goofy. I wanted to hate it, but it made me laugh. And if he was the guy they were focusing on and Miz was his second banana, then I'd say this is really stupid. But since he's in the role he's in, I kind of say, yeah, let's be stupid. Someone should look like they're having some kind of fun or enjoying being there, so go with it, man. Anyway, John Morrison does a weird thing. He throws his sunglasses or the Miz's glasses, I forget, at Drew, and the glasses hit Drew in the back, and then Drew stomps the allegedly expensive sunglasses, and then John pulls out the Miz away from the Claymore, and the referee, rightfully so, throws John Morrison out. Great job on a referee. When you throw someone out, that's when a wrestling referee gets to play baseball umpire and do the big dramatic hand signal, da, 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 and then you throw your arm like, you're out of here. So everyone can see, even though there's just computers watching you live, everyone, ideally, this is how that's done. I love that. That's one of the few times I'm like, yeah, ham it up. Be stupid with it. Let everyone go. Ah! Let them, you know how in Japan, before they got corny, like a guy would do a suplex, and in America we just listen for the suplex. We pop for the bump. But in Japan, they wait for the climax. Behave. They wait for the climax. Okay, okay, okay. They wait for the ejaculation. Oh, Bob, come on. Why would you do that? They go, ooh, and then they wait for the bump and go, Bob. That's how you throw someone out. And what happens? Miz gets a claymore. Of course, they shoot her from the back because we know Miz doesn't like to get hit. And then full Nelson as a shot. Hey, Bobby Lashley, I'm coming for you to tap out the Miz. I liked that. It made me remember why Drew is there right now and something different. And he did a good old. It wasn't a foot on the chest. It was a foot on the back because Miz was face down. But Drew raised his hand with a foot on top of Miz, like, I am dominant. I have defeated this man. This is over. This guy totally screwed me and more or less ruined my professional career temporarily. And I'm not going to get even by hooking the leg and making sure his shoulders are to the mat so he can stagger back to the ring. No, he is down. I have conquered him. I'm a guy who puts his sword in the metal entrance grate thing to summon Thundercats and get Panthro and Snarf and Shitara. I don't know. I don't know all their names. And Tiger, the tiger guy. Did I lose my point? What was my focus? Oh yeah, we were talking about the Thundercats. No, we were not. Drew was dominant. Okay. 13 and a half minutes in, I've covered one match. This match gets 6,000 stars. Congratulations to Bad Bunny for winning Grammys. That's what's on the show. So they congratulate Bad Bunny. And again, great for Damian Priest to be next to a Grammy winner. The only Grammys I care about are rapping grannies. Am I right? A hippie to the hop and you don't stop. Stop it, Bob. Enough out of you, you ass. You're being an ass and you're ruining the podcast. I'm ruining the podcast. I'm ruining the goddamn podcast. I've ruined it. I just ruined everyone's day. I apologize. Let's just shut this off. No, let's keep going. Let's keep going. They they replay Shane and Braun from last week. So to make sure you didn't miss that, it doesn't matter if it's Shane. Like they'll just tell you it's good until your brain shuts off. Vince McMahon is the original gaslighter before that was a word. What happens here? So Braun is walking backstage, and they probably went to a break. I forgot. Braun Strowman, stupid goddamn Braun Strowman, stupid goddamn Shane McMahon. Braun speeds through the crap they wrote for him. I'm not stupid, and I got bullied. And blah, 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 blah. Okay. Hey, you want to build up an unstoppable monster killer that everyone should be afraid of? That's a physically imposing guy without saying a word? You want to make him look so unbelievably dominant that you have to see what happens? Have him whine about getting bullied, you fucking idiots. Bob, you okay? No, I'm not okay. What? And who's the baby? I guess Braun's the baby face here that we're supposed to have sympathy on because he gets bullied, but he's a giant. What? You can't see because this is an audio medium, but I'm shaking my hand, my fist in anger right now. Are there any clouds? I'm going to shake my fist at them. I wish I had a lawn so I could yell at someone to get off of it, because I would, even if they're not on it. I don't care. That would make more sense than replaying Shane's on-air aneurysm. Anyway, Braun mumbles too fast, and then he even says, Shane, you were nervous, you're scared of me, that's why you mumbled and fumbled your thing last week, which is kind of funny. Someone said, check your ass can't cash. Stupid goddamn Braun Strowman or stupid goddamn Shane McMahon. One of them said that. Another one of those goddamn cliches. Your dream's gonna become a nightmare. You're gonna check your ass can't cash. I'm here day in and day out, and first one to show up and last one to leave, and you're bit off more than you can chew. Shut the fuck. Someone write. If you're gonna hire, what do these writers get paid for? I just wrote them. Jesus, I'm just some asshole jacking it in San Diego. South Park? No? Okay. Oh, anyway, they make a match for later, which we don't think is really going to happen. Um, the Raw Tag Team Championship happens. No entrances here on a Hulu edition. They just kind of jump into it, which it's a championship match, but whatever. I mean, this is the first tag. Hulu only airs tag team matches where the tag team championship changes hands a couple times a year, so this was very good. I like everybody in this match. I think I forgot how that Woods is pretty good because I think Kofi's great, and I think Woods is very good. And with Kofi being great and having that, I don't forget his 2019 Kofi Mania thing. I think other folks on that show have, but I don't. Because to me, that was the most emotional part of. That was the emotion drainer of Mania in 2019. It was like sorry to Becky Lynch and all them, but it was like I didn't have any more in me after Kofi won the thing. And that was the last of the 14-hour long WrestleManias. Don't get mad at me. I was all for the women main eventing the thing. I was just like, but it was a different day when they started the match, for fuck's sake. Anyway, because Cedric's really good and going to be great. Woods is really good and going to be great. Shelton's already experienced and great, and so is Kofi. But yeah, it was good watching Woods in there do his thing, fire up, blah 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 blah. The New Day wins it clean. The match gets 3 million stars, 3,000,004 stars. I'm sorry, yeah, I got 4 stars. Because because Woods hooked the leg. I think that's why it gets the extra 4. Nothing to say here. A little surprised that the faction tied to Bobby Lashley is losing their thing already. You'd think there'd be a lot of six-mans and the 3 champions of the heels on one side versus whoever the hell, like Drew and New Day for that matter. You'd think they would, which they could still do that match, I'm sure, just to buy time or kill time before Mania. That's actually, yeah, they'll probably do that. But they got to resist the urge to have Drew gyrate like New Day. Do it. I don't care. That's an okay like Raw is going off the air thing, and this is just for the fans who were there. This is just for the computers who volunteered to stick around. AJ Styles. The real point of this was AJ Styles shows up and with his almost guy and challenges them to a tag team match at WrestleMania again. Fuck you, Fastlane. I guess. What's happening on Fastlane? I did not see that coming. I literally thought, oh, okay, this is going to be their Fastlane thing. But no, Omos' first match. And it was great for New Day to mention, oh, the only other person to have their first match at Mania they knew was Big E, except they saw him wrestle before. And he had gear. And Kofi and Woods were funny here because, someone's handing them a script and they're politely going, oh, thank you very much, and wiping their ass with it and having their fun. And that's why people love them. I don't mind that they're the 11-time tag team champions. Because all 3 of those New Day guys have made a point to show us who they are and make us care about the people. I wouldn't know it was 11 times. I would have said it was 6 or 7 times if you told me. I would have believed you. I don't fucking know. I can't keep score. All right, 400 titles here. Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is presented some Stone Cold related gifts by R-Truth backstage. I'm not kidding. And Bad Bunny relinquishes his 24/7 championship to R-Truth, which I didn't know you could do. And to me, this completely kills the integrity of the 24/7 championship. I'm kidding. Come on now. But I don't know. Maybe part of me is like, nah, they should have just had R-Truth roll up Bunny and just a sportsmanlike handshake hug thing. Priest did grab Truth's arm and say, "What's his name?" and he said "Bad," which is cool. A little respect there. I guess Bad Bunny has been training in the PC. Good for you, man. No hate here. I will not pretend to have heard of Bad Bunny or known anything about him before seeing him on WWE. There's no point in that. I'm not hip. I'm not cool. His music is not my thing, but I do not hate this man. He has shown great respect to wrestling to the point where he brought his 24/7 championship, whereas to anyone else it would be a toy. He performed with it on Saturday Night Live. And now he's taking bumps and contributing, and he's still not being portrayed as being magically able to kick everybody's ass just because he's a different type of celebrity. I hate when they say because he's a celebrity. They're all celebrities. They're on TV. You know what I mean? So I don't know. They couldn't just have Truth roll him up. They didn't want to pin Bad Bunny to discredit him. I don't fucking come on now. Anyway, so Truth immediately gets chased off by the other 24/7 guys who have nothing to do. But when I go and I mean, I'm usually a little better spoken to this. But the thing is, I'm losing my place in my notes. I don't really know what I'm doing, so bear with me. Jackson Riker, one of the three forgotten sons who wasn't like a racist asshole who got to keep his job, magically is wrestling Damian Priest, accompanied to the ring by Bad Bunny. The match was perfect. 2 moves. Priest hits a move. Priest hits another move on this big jacked up Jackson motherfucker who looks like he came from Rikers, named Riker, which rhymes with biker, and he's got like a biker. 2 moves. I forget what it was. He calls it the broken arrow. It was like a Falcon's S sit out suplex gimmicky thing, and then the wacky corkscrew head droppy thing that Cody does. 2 moves. 1, 2, 3. Bam! That's a star. That's how you make Priest a dominant guy. Okay, because Jackson does have a bigger, more Jacksoned up body than Priest. But okay, but Priest. We showed why Priest is important. He's not a guy to be fucked with. I expected back and forth, and Priest just wins, and it's all forgettable. Sometimes you got to do this. This was a squash. I'm always bitching about. Oh, no one knows what a squash is. This was. One person got all the offense, the other one got none of it. Then there's an attack from Elias, but Elias takes the move as well. This was perfect up until this point, because then it was overkill. Morrison runs out for a distraction, and Miz sneaks up with a guitar shot. He takes Elias's guitar, and he smashes Bad Bunny in the back with it. And Bunny's down, and Miz takes off. And I think we're setting up a tag for Mania here, which is fine. I'm looking forward to that. Why not? Because here's my reasoning. Because I think it'll make Priest a star. It's more eyes on Priest because it's Bunny. So I'm with it. I'm totally on board for this. No arguments here. Bunny got a punch on somebody. Was it Elias or was it Morrison? I don't know. I don't remember how the punch looked either. I think it was a little wonky, but that's okay. He's not supposed to be. The audience isn't supposed to know he's training to be a wrestler. Even if they do know that, he shouldn't be competitive with pretty much anybody on the show. But so why can't R-Truth roll him up? R-Truth has been 23 years old for 24 years. Okay. Then we go backstage to MVP Bobby Lashley are talking to a blonde lady, and they yell at her. And because Bobby's gonna wrestle Sheamus later, which I had a big question mark why later on, but then it ended up being all right. Then we do stupid goddamn Shane McMahon versus stupid goddamn Braun Strowman. They have a stupid goddamn sort of match. Shane stalls. Okay, because he thinks he's funny. He's a bully out of nowhere. He tricks stupid goddamn Braun Strowman. He beats him with a camera. And I was hoping someone would say something about Shane working that hard camera against, because they always have to work the hard cam, whatever. And of course, Shane has to do the big elbow through the table, which I don't care about anymore. I don't even care if Shane gets hurt at this point. Like, whatever, you do that twice a year and everyone goes, because you got time to recover. And then, not one, but 2 buckets of slime. As if it's 2006 with DX versus the McMahons when this was still stupid. Buckets of slime. Where does that come from? What did any of this have to do with buckets of slime? Not one, but 2. So Shane's camera shots plus Shane's elbow, who's half the size of Braun Strowman, is enough to knock Braun Strowman out for exactly the time it takes to recover after 2 buckets of slime to run up and get mad and shake the slime out of your beard. Why were there buckets of slime under the ring? Well, Shane put them there. Actually, I could justify that. I mean, yeah, the old wrestling mentalities of why the hell was that under the ring? Yes. But if we have established that this heel, and it's more than established that he's the owner's son, then okay, then yes, he could have put those up. He could put them there earlier. So I'll forgive that. Because he's been portrayed as being in charge of the show. So yes, he could have 2 buckets of slime, so I'll let that go. Anyway, Alexa Bliss is in a playground on a swing. And I guess she's going to wrestle Randy Orton at Fastlane. I want to see that. That should main event Mania. Don't give that away. Are we ever going to see Burnt Up Fiend? Is this guy? He's been taking his sweet. I always say Bray Wyatt is, for all the good and bad things people have to say about what he's been up to in the last year, the supreme love of the Fiend in 2019 and the waning popularity, I think, of it with a lot of fans in 2020. He is a genius at being on TV without being on TV. It is unbelievable. And one of his favorite feuds of mine was against The Undertaker in 2015, where The Taker wasn't on TV at all, and Bray Wyatt had to do the whole thing. But whatever. Anyway, a lot of recaps of Randy Orton coughing up goop. I didn't write any of that down. Asuka's back. Oh, I hope she doesn't get in trouble. She did a Shayna Baszler, did a knee slap. I thought those were banned. There's going to be a thing. I think Sheamus did one later. If your name begins with SH, you're still allowed to do a knee slap. Because the SH means, shh, don't tell him I was knee slapping. But the real knee slapper here is that she pinned Shayna Baszler. Oh, look at me. Look at you go, Bobby. So Asuka was dominant and not afraid of Shayna and kicked her around and bumped Nia off the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. And this was the Asuka that people fell in love with to begin with. Now she's pissed off. She has a reason to be pissed off. She's still a babyface. Because she got her fucking tooth. They did a nice slow replay, the tooth flying out of the head, which I didn't think they would do. And they did. And that match never aired on Hulu. So they acknowledged, they turned the real violence into an angle, so now it's real, so you believe it. Which is good. I'm not a total asshole. I don't hate everything, but I'm just trying to, I'm upset lately. I'm very on edge. I'm very on edge. I'm very angry about. So Asuka does get the pin. I think Shayna's trying to do the choke out, and Asuka does the roll up, similar to Bret Hart and Roddy Piper, which we reviewed in the last episode of the WrestleMania 8, 50th edition of Hardest Part of the Ring. But Shayna does let go of the thing, and Asuka takes over the fight, and she does a smash of Shayna's face into the buckle with Shayna's arms behind her back, and Asuka has her foot on Shayna's back. And she takes off the buckle pad, and she's like not being gnarly with Shayna's teeth against the buckle, the exposed buckle, which I thought was different. I'd never seen it before.
But it made sense because, like, an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, if you will. It was the whole that made perfect sense. We knew exactly why Asuka was doing what she was doing, why she had every right to be pissed off. And then she's about to do that hand behind the back stomp move thing on the buckle, and the referee got in the way, which is good. I don't understand the referee um, yelling at Asuka, "What are you thinking?" And she's just yelling at him in Japanese. Well, she'd already been yelling at the referee in Japanese for 2 minutes prior, so why does he keep asking her, "What are you thinking?" Unless you speak Japanese, sir, and I don't think you do, what's the point of asking her questions? You made it clear. Your job is to get in the way so that she doesn't take all of Shayna's teeth out on the metal turnbuckle. And for once, they had a referee act like a referee, because any other referee, usually, they just have the referee stand there, helpless. And believe me, all these women are ass kickers. All these three women at ringside, she'd all kick my limpy arthritic ass all over the place on my best day and their worst day, and I have no problem. I don't care. I don't have no qualms admitting that. But these referees are also pretty athletic dudes nowadays. Like, so when one of them can't get in the way or at least impede the physical movement of another woman, even if she is an athlete, like, he would have no effect. Like, I don't understand when five referees can't hold one of the women back. Oh shit! I hope I'm not being sexist here. Like, if Carmella's pissed off, I love Carmella. I'm the biggest Carmella fan. But a couple of dude referees should be able to hold Carmella back. I don't mean to be. Ah, Jesus, whatever. That's the end of me. That's the end of the podcast. They're all gonna cancel me. They're gonna take my sometimes double digit views all the way back down to single digits now. Well, I'm done for. Boy. But this was good here because then Asuka was not afraid of the referee. She was just like, no, I don't understand what she was saying in Japanese, but she was pretty much like, no, go to hell. I'm gonna take this bitch's teeth out whether you like it or not, and made sense. And Shayna got out of there so that Asuka didn't look dumb. But, okay. Randy Orton talks to a blonde lady, and he tells this blonde lady that he might have to kick a blonde lady at Fastlane, implying that he's gonna give Alexa the punt and kick her in the skull. Will he? Jeez. I hope not, but it's also so preposterous at this point. What's the difference? I don't know the answer. Drew McIntyre arrives. He's still in his kilt. He put his kilt back on, I guess. And Bobby Lashley and Sheamus. I didn't know why they were wrestling. I didn't know who to cheer for with the two heels. I ended up enjoying this anyway. They look like they're trying to win. I say this all the time. I know I'm repetitive. I'm sorry. They're beating the crap out of each other. You hear all the blows. I thought I hear a leg slap on a knee slap of Sheamus. Maybe everyone's not reading the memos that are hanging on the walls, allegedly. You can't do that anymore. But whatever. They introduced Bobby's MMA game into his match a lot more this time, of tying up Sheamus and Sheamus just taking it and showing how tough he is. And I guess Sheamus and Drew are going to wrestle at Fastlane for what reason I don't know. Drew keeps beating him, so I thought that was over. But Lashley does hit a spear for the 1-2-3. Match gets 4,681 stars. Asuka versus Shayna also, by the way, gets 10,001 star. And Shane versus Braun gets negative 6 billion stars. It's my star system. It means nothing. That's why I do it. Bobby pins Sheamus, and he puts the Hurt Lock on Sheamus anyway, and Drew runs in, and then they have a little stare down. Drew sneaks in his Claymore on Bobby Lashley, and then he stares down Sheamus, and I'm going to nitpick. He yells at Sheamus, you and I are going to give them a hell of a match and a fight, blah, 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 Fastlane. No, he's your enemy now. I'm going to give you a hell of a fight and kick the shit out of you at Fastlane. Not we are going to give them a hell of a... It's like saying we're going to put on a hell of a performance at Fastlane. Well, no. That's also Drew saying that he's not going to... That's also Drew saying, like, and I bet the match will be 50-50 too. Like, don't say that. It should be, but don't... I don't know. And also, didn't Sheamus, wasn't he supposed to have his brains rattled a week ago, or both of them really from the steps, but Sheamus especially, and they stopped the match? So that I didn't think we are going to see Sheamus at all on this show. What, I can't believe that the steps against your skull, which probably do rattle your brains, he's back wrestling. So when they pick up, I don't know if it's no DQ or not. I'm sure they'll figure out a way around it. I don't know. But on Sunday, when the two of them pick up steps and rattle each other's brains, as far as I'm concerned, they both should be okay to wrestle the next day. So why am I going to feel anything for this? I'm more interested if Randy Orton's going to do a weird jump cut edit where they pretend he kicked a 5 foot tall blonde lady in the head. I get confused. 92 Rumble. Let's do this real quick. Oh Jesus! Well, I'm getting longer than Randy because today, the day of the recording this is 316 day, and it's Steve Austin. Let me do a little thing I like about some old man revisionist history. Not revisionist. They're doing a revisionist. This is the old man telling you, regardless of what they tell you in documentaries, this is how things really were. Okie dokie. With Steve Austin, they love to mention 96, early 96. He's in the Rumble, and Austin loves telling that story where he slips out of the Rumble by accident. It's a whole goofy thing. I don't want to get into it. But there's a running gag between me and my good buddy Brian Yang how no matter what Austin's talking about, no matter who Austin is interviewing, he somehow sneaks in two things. Him getting accidentally eliminated in the Royal Rumble, especially when he just got at the company, and in 2002 when he walked out on the Brock Lesnar finish. Wasn't the right way to do business. I still think I was right, but it wasn't the right way to do business. So, still regret it to this day. And then, yeah, and I don't know. He always brings those up no matter what anyone's talking about. It always makes us laugh. But they love to replay the promo, and they should. It's easily one of the most historic wrestling promos ever. In hindsight, when Michael Hayes, who may have still been Doc Hendricks at the time, I really don't know, was interviewing Austin at the '96 King of the Ring, and Austin, referring to Jake Roberts, says, "Thump your Bibles," and your John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, "I just get dressed." And the next day, yes, at Raw, and the next several weeks, there's Austin 3:16 hit out of the signs, and yeah, everything we took off. This is going to be a T-shirt. It's going to be huge. The history they tell you is that, and that's when we knew. That's when everyone knew Steve Austin was a major star, and from there it was this grandiose strap the rocket, blah 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 blah. Well, from someone who was a fan at the time, and I was 16, so I had, I had pretty good memories of it. I had my faculties. It wasn't like I was 8 or 9, and I could kind of half remember. That's not true. They tell you that in every documentary. That is not true. After he did the Austin 3:16, they still let him be Stone Cold. He was still King of the Ring, and he'd won it. He didn't wear the crown or the robe or any of that crap, thank God. But it made sense for Stone Cold not to, which was good. But really, the following pay-per-view is SummerSlam, because King of the Ring was supposed to be a big precursor to SummerSlam, right? Bret Hart wins '93. He has a big feud with Lawler, because of the Hogan issue, whatever the hell. Owen wins in '94. Owen fights Bret in a cage at SummerSlam. Mabel wins '95. God help us, he fights Diesel at SummerSlam. Austin was not on the SummerSlam '96 show. Yes, he was on the Free for All on free TV for half an hour before the pay-per-view in the upper left corner of your preview guide channel. They had a free pre-thing with one free match and promos and just to whet your appetite. So hopefully, just to build up last-minute buys, pretty much. If you didn't order it already, you can. This will hopefully give you the impulse buy to just I gotta see this. And he beats Yokozuna, who's a babyface, in 2 minutes when Yoko climbs up the rope, rips the top turnbuckle off accidentally, and Austin hooks the leg and pins Yoko. So Yoko must have given him like 2 moves. I think it was like a suplex and a leg drop. It was definitely a leg drop. He always did that. Because what's Austin going to do to him? And then Yoko, by folly, a big 600-something pound babyface, and for other unfortunate reasons, they weren't doing anything with at the time. They couldn't really commit major things with him at the time. he just fumbles and falls backwards, and by accident, Austin hooks the leg. And good friend cousin Luke always made this point that shouldn't the count be broken up because technically Yoko has the rope, even though he's holding it and he's in the middle of the ring. But I don't think semantics were in play on this day. And that's all Austin did that summer. I think in September they had him re-break Pillman's leg in the chair, and that's when Pillmanizing became a phrase we used for a little bit. And then gradually in October-ish, they would build up. They would have Austin mention Brett's name once or twice, and Brett was out on some time off at the time to film Lonesome Dove or whatever the hell he was doing. And by Survivor Series '96, yes, Austin was a player. But that summer, June, July, August, really into late September, this 4 months, they weren't doing a goddamn thing with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I said, that promo was cool. Anyway, Savio Vega. My God, and I like Savio just fine. I'm just saying. They went, that promo was awesome. Anyway, here's all the Mark Merrow shoved down your throat you could possibly take. That's a bit of a lie. The people just stayed with him. Austin was made, the people loved Austin 316. They had no choice but to make this shirt. And I know a lot of different people take credit for the idea of the simple, basic Austin 316 shirt to this day. But yeah, they lie to you. It was not. From there, Austin knocked it out of the park on that night at the King of the Ring '96 promo. But he knocked it out of the park so much that people stayed with him, despite him not really being used all that much, and just kind of being kept warm enough so that when the time was right, he could do something with Brett. And I think Brett was very big on Austin. In September of that year, even though Brett was supposed to have time off, he had actually wrestled Austin in South Africa, which you can find that match. It's around. And I think Brett liked Steve. I think it was really the fact that Brett liked Steve so much that's why they had their match in '96 Survivor Series, and their program went on and on and on. Brett liked working Steve. And both guys have that snug but not stiff attitude. Steve was still much more of a technical wrestler at that time, but he was incorporating the brawling and those dropping elbow, forearm, knees, and things. So Brett liked the kind of stuff. He was the perfect opponent for Brett, and that was a good thing because Brett would still be around for a year, and you would. That was Austin's career in many ways was made more by Brett, way more than it was by Shawn at Mania 14. Austin was the Austin we knew already by the time that hit, and Shawn was doing his own thing. But just let's fix history, okay? You can credit Bret Hart a lot more to the career of Steve Austin than the documentaries do. And definitely more to than just that promo, because that was a promo where they went, that's awesome. Moving on to more Mark Merrow. Okay. That's the hardest part of the ring. Apologies, I'm not going to do this. This is way too long. I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'm not going to do the theme song, but we're going to talk about NXT in a couple of days. What do I have going on Thursday? I have a comedy show. Oh, for the G.I. Joe fans, yes, on my channel, 1 or 2 videos before this. Please check out Convenience Fee, the full episode, another G.I. Joe adventure if you haven't already. I think both my listeners already have. But nevertheless, that is there, so please enjoy a little bit of Yojo as Cobra Commander has a evil scheme to hijack our power grids and charge us a monthly fee at ransom so that he doesn't turn the lights off. I thank you very much. This is the hardest part of the ring. Remember the Alamo.